So there's a lot of brouhaha over this whole ex-gay therapy being portrayed on the Dr. Oz, Dr. Drew show. By the way, I never heard of Dr. Drew before. Who the fuck is this little quack? I mean, seriously. You call yourself a doctor, and instead of, doing your profession, going out there and doing something, you're hosting these pathetic little shows that nobody watch. On what? On CNN, headline news, like if people actually watch this shit. So now there are people out there, gay activists. I understand, yes, that you don't like how these quacks portray themselves on these shows, and I understand that. Because the science, both alternative and mainstream, whatever you want to call it. I mean, look, I dealt with a lot of alternative science. We talk about human evolution, we talk about the global warming effect and all that, and we can debate that. I mean, we can present evidence that I want to express that, may contradict what is established. I mean, there are many theories now today that disprove some of the theories that Einstein made up. I mean, sometimes things change and science will come up with new explanations that may end up being replaced later on. I mean, that's just what science is. Now, on the issue of homosexuality, science has said, we don't know. Maybe someday we'll know what causes homosexuality directly, exactly, step by step. Like someday we will know exactly how human life started on this planet. We will know where exactly the first organism evolved and the first cell. I mean, that's, I don't know, maybe that's going to be something that's very complicated later on. But with this issue, with homosexuality, we don't know. I mean, I have some theories of my own, but I'm not presenting my theories as what I would call, I don't know, science or something, because I cannot prove them. And I think I talked about in length about my theories of homosexuality. I have a hunch as to what why certain people are homosexuals, why others are just neutral. I mean, a lot of, especially men, we are neutral on homosexuality. Many of us are. A few of us are homosexual exclusively, and a lot of us are heterosexual exclusively. But depending on the environment and depending on the circumstances, yeah, some straight guys might, in fact, engage in homosexual conduct, like in the prisons, or if you're drunk or something, stuff like that, that we all know of. But that's different. That's not what I would say, a transition into homosexuality. You cannot convert a straight guy into becoming a gay guy through therapy. I mean, there might be other ways. I don't know. I mean, there's this story that we read a few years ago, or actually this year, because it was brought up again, about this British guy that went to the hospital because he suffered from a stroke, and when he woke up from the stroke, he was gay. He was a flaming homosexual. Oh, God! I mean, he was totally out there. But he had a stroke, and that is pretty interesting. We can examine the areas of the brain where we might think that affect our sexual desires, our sexual attractions. What makes you a homosexual, by the way, is the fact that it's not just the conduct, because if that were be true, then a lot of guys will be gay. I mean, that doesn't cut it. It's all about what's inside of your brain. Your brain is actually the biggest sexual organ that you have. And to change the chemistry of the brain, that is really something that is beyond the purview of many brain surgeons or these neuroscientists or people who study the brain. They don't even know how to manipulate somebody. They have certain techniques, hypnosis and all that. But to actually change somebody's attraction is really pathetic. Because it's like trying to make somebody fall in love with you. You know? I mean, it's like that. It's all fucking voodoo shit. And that's fine if you believe in voodoo. I mean, call it what it is. And I've seen some weird shit, by the way. I think some magic is, I don't know, it's pretty weird stuff. A lot of these magicians and psychics that I've known, they pull a lot of shit that I think was pretty amazing. But, I mean, that's another point. But at least they somehow can produce something, at least something, these psychics. But these therapists who call themselves therapists and say we can change gay people into straight people, that's totally really something way beyond voodoo, way beyond white magic or black magic. Because I know these psychics in the Mexican community, they say that if you pay them like $100 or something, they can make anybody that you like fall in love with you, and I don't know. I've heard of some people doing that, and they said, yeah, it worked. I finally got the love of my life. I went to this witch doctor. I went to my psychic, and she did some shit or some spell or something, some love spell. But other than that, I mean, even that can be very dismissive, because you have to kind of, prove that, or how can we measure that, So, but let me just say this with this whole Dr. Oz thing, this whole, they're, glad the Gay Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, they're all up in arms and a penny twist about Dr. Oz. So Dr. Oz, what they're fighting over is that Dr. Oz basically, because of his indifference and his lack of being a really good show host or presenter, he basically let these anti-gay, ex-gay quacks have at it and validate their stupid theories that have never been proven. I have never, ever, 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 ever met a real ex-gay, like somebody that says, you know what, you put a guy right in front of me, a sexy guy, it doesn't matter who it is, put him in front of me, nothing's going to happen to me. I won't get an erection. I won't get aroused. But that's not true. Even the most famous of ex-gay, supposedly ex-gay ministry, Exodus, if we recall that organization, the head of it said that he's still gay, even though he's married to a woman. I don't know how that works. But that is a relationship that is based on necessity, not based on love. It's based on necessity to validate somebody's religious fetishes and fanaticism. And that's all what it is. Oh, yeah, I love you, honey. And, I want to see some cock. I want to see some big old furry butt. I would like to fuck a nice little Asian guy, but hey, oh yeah, he's dating an Asian woman. I forgot that what's his name again? I forgot his name. The head of the Exodus International, that little creepy little homo. Anyway, but he's married to an Asian chick. And I think I know why. Because those Asian chicks, a lot of them, they look like little boys. They look like little twinks. And so that's probably why that's probably why they're married. But on this particular situation, look, let's just say this. I really wanted to express this, but because I say things, some people will take it the wrong way. They say, Jose, you're just so, whatever. I'm gonna say this. Just fuck it. Let me just say this. Fuck it. Why can't we do this? Let's not go on to these shows. I don't care if it's Wayne Besson from Truth Wins Out. I don't care if it's Human Rights Campaign. I don't care if it's whoever. I don't care. Zachary Quinto, any gay celebrity. I don't care who you are. If you are a gay man or a pro-gay person, and some shady producer out there from CNN or from Headline News or from any of these stupid little petty networks calls you and says, hey, can we have you on the show with these ex-gay quacks? Say no. No more. Because if the reality is that homosexuality, for the most part, the orientation, I'm not talking about the conduct, but the orientation itself is not, you can't choose it for the most part, unless you get a stroke. But for the most part, you cannot choose it, and that's widely accepted right now, unless you have some real good evidence, that you can write it out on a paper and have it peer reviewed on a journal, like a real scientist. Unless you have that, why do we need to debate these quacks? Why do we need to debate these little Boy Scouts that are running around with, with not even a piece of paper? I mean, they're just saying, look, I changed. Well, how can we tell that you changed? Is there a way to measure that? Like, can I hook your dick to a detector that will tell me if you get a hard-on every time you see a hot guy? Why don't we do that? We have those machines, by the way. I know that this facility up in California, they try to change, I don't know if you can say that, but rehabilitate these pedophiles, basically Catholic priests, in this special hospital that they have in California. And they have this detector that can be hooked up to your dick, and then it will detect if you get any type of blood or erection, if you get hard a little bit, it will detect it, and, they can test you if you're still a pedophile. But in this case, we can test the person if they're still homo. We could show them a picture of their favorite gay porn or something like that, and they'll get a boner right away. Why don't we do that? Well, why don't we challenge these little goofs? Unless, like I said, just leave it alone. I say, just don't go. Don't go to who are these doctors, by the way? Dr. Oz. I never met this guy. Who is this little fuck? This little fraudulent graduate from DeVry University. Well, who the fuck is this? Dr. Oz. These people like Dr. Phil and Dr. Drew and Dr. this and Dr. that. Fuck you. What you are swindlers. And then you go on your petty little shows that, nobody watches except maybe some couple soccer moms or a breakfast club at IHOP might be willing to watch your pathetic, boring shows. And what's up with these doctors on CNN and on all these other news networks? Like, they're the fucking experts. Like, oh, I'm an expert, and I'll tell you how to, have a diet. And I'm like, shut up. That's why I have my own doctor and my own dietitian and my own, I have people. You don't know me. You haven't examined my body. You haven't done a physical on me to tell me what's wrong with me. Who the fuck are you? You're just some goof on the television screen. I'm a doctor. I have a doctor my foot. Doctor my fucking ass. Shut the fuck up. And people that listen to this shit, even for GLAAD, or for anybody, any gay activist, to pay some sort of credulity to these people, like even Wayne Besson, Truth Wins Out. I mean, this guy, he's so pathetic. He says, "Oh, Dr. Oz should have known better. I'm like, what do you mean he should have known better? He's a stupid asshole. He's a freak. He's a circus clown that pretends to be a doctor. He's a surgeon. Well, go do your fucking surgeries. Get the fuck out of the television set. What the fuck are you doing there? But you know what they're doing there, right? They're there for ratings. They're there to sensationalize things. They're not there to promote medicine or science or... Fuck that. They're there to make some money. They're there to, put up some ratings. Like, if they can. Like, who the fuck watches this shit? I'm more amazed. I'm more interested in knowing who the fuck watches this type of shitty programming. Really. Actually, that's more concerning to me than this whole ex-gay bullshit. And stop it with the, Dr. Oz, he should have known better. He's a doctor. Fuck that. I don't care if he should have known. In fact, I want these people out of the networks. What gives them the right to get up there and go, I'm a doctor, I'm Dr. Oz, and I'm going to tell you how to eat and how to exercise. I know how to do that, you moron. Get back to the fucking surgery room. What the fuck are you doing in my television screen? Dr. Phil, that's the worst one, though. That little stupid Texan motherfucker. He goes up there and says, well, I tell you what's wrong with you. You are withholding. You have a problem with your mother. I'm like, how the fuck do you know? You just met these people. My therapist wouldn't even tell me about my problems that I had until like 2 months after we first met, because she wanted to get to know me better. She wanted to get to know all about what makes me tick. And I have a lot of doctors, by the way. I have a dietitian. I have my general practitioner. I have a gastroenterologist. I have a cardiologist. I have all these. They tell me what to do because they know me. They know my body. They have done X-rays on me because I had, anxiety and depression. They know everything about me. Who the fuck are you, Dr. Oz, to tell me what the fuck? You don't know me. And I hate these Dr. Phils, these Dr. Drews, who think they know you. They know what you eat. They know how much you smoke or how much alcohol you drink. They know about your lifestyle enough for them to make any type of determination. These people should be laughed out of television. What the hell is going on? Why are Americans and liberals, by the way, liberals watching this shit, saying, they're being progressive by watching this? No, you're not. Being progressive is when you write a paper and you submit it for peer review in a scientific journal. That is the real meat and potatoes right there. None of these stupid headline news shows or I don't care what you call yourself, Dr. Oz, Dr. Drew. You are a fraud. You are defrauding the American people by pretending to know what they are and who they are, not knowing anybody's medical history, and you make these determinations even on people who appear with you on your stupid shows or your guests or your so-called experts. This is just a circus. That's what it is. So for all of you gay activists out there, why would I worry? I know, because these people sort of are given a platform, and Dr. Oz appeared as though he was giving them some sort of cred for what they were saying. I understand that point, and yeah, it's like, but still, who gives a shit? Nobody does. Here's the reality of facts. 51% of the American people support gay marriage. That was up 20% over the last, 10 years. That is the real fact. That's something that we should be looking at. Why are we worried about this petty, stupid little shows that nobody watches? Stupid little pricks and douchebags pretending to be doctors. Fuck that. Why are we so into this shit? Why are we wasting our energy and our time with this crap? We have states to win. We have states to to fold over to. I shouldn't say fold over, but we need to bring these states into the fold. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to get states to legalize gay marriage, to do the things that are best for the community, that are real, tangible things. We have Oregon, Illinois, Delaware, New Jersey, New Mexico, some people are talking about, Minnesota, California, in case Prop 8 is upheld by the court. The things that we need to look at, and we need to put our efforts in. And yes, I understand the ex-gay thing is stupid, and there are people out there that are saying things like, "Oh, gay people can change," but in reality, if you look at the polls, if you look at the Pew Research and all that shit, you'll find that at least 2/3 of Americans do not believe in ex-gay therapy and do not believe that you can change your sexual orientation. Okay? And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having 2/3. I don't need to convince the other third. And you know why? Because the other third, who are they? Evangelicals, Southern Dixiecrat, Freemasonry theologians who don't give a shit about anything. I mean, these are the people that think that the earth is 6,000 years old. I mean, all this shit. Why do we care about them? I mean, fuck them. These are what these ex-gays are doing on these stupid doctor shows are basically vindicating the small audience that they have. Within that small audience, there's just a few couple of evangelicals, Mormons that believe this shit. And the Catholics, of course. A few Catholics. But that's it. I mean, these ex-gays, who are they talking to? They're not talking to the mainstream. They're talking to their to their little petty groups. I mean, these small little vocal groups, the Family Research Council, they're basically singing to the choir. I mean, and you might say, Jose, but there might be people who are vulnerable to this. And if they're vulnerable, they're stupid. All right? And there's a reason why many people, actually, I would say 95% of the people that believe in ex-gay therapy, there's a reason why they believe in it. And it has to do with religion. It has nothing to do with science. The only thing that they do with science is that they try to pretend it is. It's even worse than the creationism, which is that Adam and Eve were the first people on Earth about 3,000 years ago or 4,000 years ago. That's bullshit. Even though there's, we find artifacts every day and we find new bones and all that. And there's new evidence to say that the human race is actually ancient. It's millions of years old. And that's very interesting. That's what I'm into, finding out exactly where we come from. But, that's why you use science to get to the truth. When there's evidence, if there's some evidence, if there's smoke, there has to be fire. So you just follow that. But here with the homosexuality, there is no evidence. There is no evidence that it is a choice, and there is no evidence that you can just stop being a homo. You can't. It's not a switch that you can switch on and off. All right? Do we get that? Are we fine with that? But these doctors, man, who the fuck are they? I don't know. I mean, all I care is that we get these laws passed, that we, that we get Prop 8 thrown out and invalidated by the court. I mean, things that we need to do. And also, we have to, deal with the AIDS and HIV and the homeless youth and all that. I mean, these are issues that deal with the community. I mean, that's the reason why I was an activist, because I wanted to, make things better. But I just things didn't really work out for me. But that's fine, because I wasn't too much of an ideologue. I mean, that's how they view me. I wasn't that passionate. No, I am passionate. I am passionate about doing things. But I guess passion means what? Being obsessed with these things, with these little things. Being obsessed with what the ex-gays are, what PFOX is doing. Like, it's basically a handful of people that go around the country. They peddle this shit around. All of us know that the American Psychological Association, the American Psychiatric Association, all these big wig organizations and associations in the medical and the psychological field have all said that you cannot change your sexual orientation, period. That's all we need. It's been proven. If these clowns want to go out there and make themselves look like a bunch of doofuses, then that's their thing. Let them do it. But here's what I'm now thinking, and I want to make a plea to Wayne Besson, to all these other individuals of the gay community who are making this an issue. Don't go on these shows anymore. Don't debate these goofs on these stupid shows that nobody watch anyway. But don't give them the platform of a debate, because there is no debate unless they have new evidence, which they don't. There's no need to go there. Okay? There's no need to. Or what? That's what I really just wanted to say. So with Wayne Besson and with Glad or anybody out there, Dan Savage or any of these other dumb creeps of the gay community, if you get an invitation, I don't know about Dan Savage. I mean, that guy loves the attention, so I guess he might just go on Dr. Drew or something like that, promote his book, or whatever he's writing, his new campaign against bullying, even though he bullies other people. So my thing is, hey, don't go there anymore. If there's no debate, then why debate it at all? Let these people vent. Let these people say whatever the hell they want. But the thing is that most people will want evidence. If there's no evidence for it, there's no evidence for it. I mean, what we're doing is we're falling into their trap. And that's what it is. And this is what I'm thinking. This is what's coming into my mind right now, is that some of these people, these ex-gay quacks, you know what they do? They say to themselves, hey, we cannot get this shit through the peer review process. We cannot get the psychology departments or the psychology associations to accept this crap. So what we are going to do is, instead of writing a peer review paper with evidence and studies and research that we have done, which there's none of it, we are going to write some few books here and there, but actually they're just books. They're not really papers or with scientific research or analysis, done on patients and all that kind of stuff. Nothing like that exists. So what they're going to do is just write some couple of books out there, pretend that they're doctors, get some quacky doctor who doesn't give a shit anymore about their careers, because they have a doctorate in some sort of stupid field like acupuncture or something like that. They can actually get some doofus like Dr. whoever to write a book about it. Then what they'll do is they'll go on these little shows, because they cannot go anywhere else. They can't go to the established medical field. They cannot really get any credible organization to approve of this shit, because they know it's stupid. So what do? They go to Dr. Phil, which they've done before in the past. They go to Dr. Drew, Dr. Oz show, or they might get, a spot on Don Francisco Presenta on Univision, or some sort of, these venues that really, and that's the only place that they have any type of platform. And that's actually kind of good, because if these people were actually to have a platform in these established communities within the professional medical fields, what's going to happen is that, of course, they're going to be taken seriously. But come on, they go on Dr. Phil, Dr. Drew, and Dr. whoever, Dr. Monkey Ass, and they think that they're up there because, that they have some credible scientific research, and they're not gay anymore, and now they can pretend to be big shots on these shows. And the way that they get vindicated is by you showing up and debating these little doofuses. That is what makes them credible in their own minds. So why give them the luxury, the pleasure to sit there and take their shit? I mean, they're basically, they're a bunch of monkeys swinging shit. And your solution to that is to go into their cage and sit there while they hurl all their feces and shit at you. Oh, that's smart. Oh, that is smart. So, that's all I really want to say about that. But, what we have to do is just no more. Let's not go on to these shows. Besides, most of these shows, the producers will not allow a one-sided news report or something like that, a one-sided presentation. But if we get our act together and everybody within the gay community says, you know what, we're not going to go appear on these stupid shows. That's it, no more. Because we can't win them over. What's the point? They're not going to be won over. They're still going to believe in this horse shit. And the audience, I think these shows are filmed with an audience, I believe. Who cares about the audience? What, 30 people? 30, 50 people? Okay, what? So what? Like, you actually believe that they're going to now believe that gay people can change their sexual orientation? Like, if that's going to happen? You really seriously believe that there are going to be some people out there that are going to take these clowns seriously? What the fuck are you smoking? Unless you know something I don't know. So that's the way I think we should approach this further. It's just, don't respond. I don't care who calls you. I don't care if it's National Geographic, or I don't care who it is that calls you, says, hey, we're thinking about doing a show, a presentation on the topic of ex-gay therapy. Just hang up. Don't deal with it. Laugh at them. Laugh at them when they call you. Laugh at their faces, because this is stupid. Okay? We got that? Alright, good.